This graph shows a colliding reality. Rising tuition costs intersect with the flat plateau of community affordability, creating a shaded danger zone, the price reckoning. When operational costs rise, hiking tuition to balance the budget creates a precarious reliance on a single asset. The tuition dependence percentage measures this danger. That single number dictates an institution's long-term health and exposes its greatest vulnerability. To address these mounting costs, school heads must adopt entrepreneurial headship. This approach treats the school as a dynamic financial portfolio. A portfolio manager balances risk by actively building and managing diverse revenue streams, rather than relying on a single core holding. This strategy provides the financial runway necessary to execute the school's educational mission. Solving the price reckoning depends on decoupling institutional survival from continuous tuition increases. The immediate operational mandate for an entrepreneurial head is to drive that tuition dependence percentage down. This chart shows the first step in that process. The school breaks the monolithic tuition structure into 3 distinct business segments: the lower, middle, and upper schools. Traditional models distribute financial aid evenly across all grades. However, treating divisions as identical investments is inefficient. The strategic allocation formula instead routes 50. In these structures, families pay a premium upfront fee to lock in a flat, unchanging tuition rate for multiple years. Families gain financial predictability, while the school secures an immediate capital injection for the endowment. This optimization transforms financial aid into a precise lever for controlling enrollment and securing capital. Once the core is optimized, leadership must construct alternative revenue channels to share the financial load. This diagram outlines the complete revenue architecture. It rests on 5 distinct pillars: tuition, the annual fund, the endowment draw, focused fundraising, and ancillary revenue. As the other pillars expand to support the structure, the school moves steadily toward material independence from tuition. The annual fund relies on relational giving to cover the immediate costs of day-to-day operational excellence. The endowment draw acts as a stabilization mechanism, preserving the school's financial runway for future generations. Focused fundraising targets high-leverage capital investments, such as new physical spaces or specialized human talent. This 5-pillar structure builds a diversified defense against market volatility and sudden enrollment dips. Building the 5th pillar, auxiliary revenue, requires a rigorous audit of the school's existing physical assets. This visualization exposes a severe inefficiency. A typical campus is actively used for only 5 hours a day, 175 days a year. Leadership must actively monetize the dormant 19 hours and the unused 190 days. Physical space can be leased, such as opening arts and theater facilities to local community groups or retirement villages during evening hours. Specialized chemistry or biology labs can be rented to regional homeschool networks when traditional students are off campus. For schools with significant acreage, a 5-year plan can focus on doubling the revenue generated per usable acre. Physical assets are only half of the equation. Schools must also capitalize on their own intellectual property. Educational institutions act as hubs of creativity, generating high-value curriculum and arts programming that often goes uncaptured by the market. Formally licensing original school plays, specialized academic frameworks, or proprietary learning modules creates scalable, recurring income. This strategy extends to offering unbundled services. Unbundling allows external families to purchase individual modules, like elite athletics coaching or advanced lab sciences, without a full tuition schedule. These strategies transform dormant campus resources into active, continuous revenue engines. Generating new revenue streams must be balanced with strict defensive management. We call this defense ruthless subtraction, the process of identifying and removing legacy programs that no longer serve the institution. Every program must pass the triple bottom line test. It must be good for the students, good for the community, and good for the business. This diagram shows why you must calculate the hidden cost of $1 for every auxiliary initiative. If the cost in time and human capital outweighs the financial return, the initiative must be eliminated. An auxiliary program might yield a marginal financial profit on paper, but if it monopolizes faculty time, it drains the overall portfolio. Human capital is the most expensive and the most easily depleted foundational asset in the entire school's portfolio. Without the discipline of ruthless subtraction, a revenue portfolio will eventually collapse under the weight of unprofitable operational bloat. To guarantee sustainability, every strategic offensive and defensive decision must be modeled against a 5 to 10-year pro forma. Adopting entrepreneurial headship systematically reduces the traditional reliance on annual tuition increases. Pricing a school out of its own community is a result of passive administration rather than a market inevitability. This dashboard illustrates the operational goal. As the 5 pillars take the weight, the tuition dependence percentage drops into a sustainable margin. Disciplined portfolio management provides the stability required to protect and execute the school's mission for future generations.